Varari Jaya Giri Varari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Gunjavi Hari Jaya Kunjavi Hari Jaya Gunjavi Hari Jaya Gunjavi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjavi Hari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Kunjavi Hari Jaya Kunjavi Hari Jaya Gunjavi Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayed Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Reshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for attending this morning the beautiful Bhagavatam lecture. And today we're going to be reading from the third canto, chapter 27, Understanding Material Nature, the very, very last verse. Thank you. Text 30. Yadana yoga pichatasu cheto Maya susidasya vishajaite nga Ananya hetu shwata megati syad Atyantiki yatrana mrityu hasa Yadana yoga pachitaso cheto Maya susidasya vishajatenga Ananya hetush atame gati syad Atyantiki yatranam mrityu hasam Yadana yoga pachita socheto Maya susidasya vishajayate niga Ananya hetesh ata megati syad Atyantiki yatrana mrityu hasa. Gentlemen, please chant. Dana yoga paschito cheto Mayaju siddhasya visadenga Ananya hetu shvata megadisaya Atyandige yadrana mrityu hasa Yadana yoga pachita socheto Dasya visajatenga Ananya hetu shvata megadisaya Atyandige yadrana mrityu hasa. Yadana yoga pachita socheto Maya sosidasya visajete nigam Ananya heta shvata megati siyad Tyantike yadrana mrityu hasaha. Ladies, Yadana yoga pachita socheto Maya sosidasya visajete nigam Ananya hetu shvata megati siyad Tyantiki natyana mrityu hasam. Translation, synonyms. Yada, when. Na, not. Yoga upachitasu, to powers developed by yoga. Chetaha, the attention. Mayasu, manifestation of Maya. Siddhasya, of a perfect yogi. Visajjate, is attracted. Anga, my dear mother. Ananya hetushu, having no other cause. Ata, then. Me, to me. Gatihi, his progress. Syat, becomes. Atyantiki, unlimited. Yatra, where. Na, not. Mrityu hasaha, power of death. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. When a perfect yogi's attention is no longer attracted to the byproducts of mystic powers, which are manifestations of the external energy, his progress towards me becomes unlimited, and thus the power of death cannot overcome him. Yogis are generally attracted to the byproducts of mystic power, for they can become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest, achieve anything they desire, have power even to create a planet or bring anyone they like under their subjection. Yogis who have incomplete information of the result of the devotional service are attracted by these powers. But these powers are material. They have nothing to do with spiritual progress. As other material powers are created by the material energy, mystic yogic powers are also material. A perfect yogi's mind is not attracted by any material power, but is simply attracted by unalloyed service to the Supreme Lord. For a devotee, the process of merging into the Brahman effulgence is considered to be hellish, and yogic power, or the preliminary perfection of yogic power, is to be able to control the senses is automatically achieved. As for elevation to higher planets, a devotee considers this to be simply hallucinatory. A devotee's attention is concentrated only upon the eternal loving service of the Lord, and therefore the power of death has no influence over him. In such a devotional state, a perfect yogi can attain the status of immortal knowledge and bliss. Once again, the translation. When a perfect yogi's attention is no longer attracted to the byproducts of the mystic powers, which are manifestations of the external energy, his progress towards me becomes unlimited, and thus the power of death cannot overcome him. Seeking the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, please bless me so that I can say something meaningful, so that we can relish the pastimes of Radha Govinda ji. Have you ever heard about the story of the Siddha who was near the river, and he called all the villagers, "Hey, come, I will show you something. I attain a mystical power. Took me 20 years, now look." So what he did, he went through the river, he walked on water, and he came back. He said, "Hare Krishna, I'm great." And then there was a bhakti yogi nearby, and he was kind of looking with a little bit of reluctance, and he said, "Come here to the boatman." How do you say in Indian? Boatman, come here. How do you say in Indian? Yeah. Boat mein aga. Boat mein hadao. Yes? He said, "Boat mein hadao." So the guy came with the boat, and he paid him 2 paisa. It's like 2 cents, And they went through the river, they came back, and the Bhakti Yogi told him, "This is 2 paisa. This is the mystical power that you spent 20 years perfecting. It took me 2 paisa to cross the river. This is your perfection." So, this is what it means to endeavor for these mystical powers that are actually very attractive, because they give the possibility to perform magical feats, to materialize a little bit of dust, to ignite fire, or to get out of your body for certain periods. And there are other, even more interesting mystical powers. But ultimately the yogi is not interested, the bhakti yogi is not interested in these things, because, as Prabhupada was explaining, they're material. So they're bound to end with the body, because everybody is bound to perish. Even the body of Brahma, which is the most exalted living entity. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka. From the topmost to the lowest. Everything is avidya. It's the same. The same old chewing the chewed. So the bhakti yogi, he doesn't want to engage anymore in these kind of things. And Srila Prabhupada explains that you can see even in modern life, some of these mystical powers they already achieved. With a few clicks on your phone, you can book a flight and go to the other side of the world the very next day. You can have a jetpack, you can fly around with a jetpack, and you can communicate with people, call them on your phone. So many things we have already achieved. Just pay a little bit of money and can do something extraordinary. So no need. But the bhakti yogi has a mystical power on his own. That's his favorite mystical power. Have you ever heard about it? Do you know which is? Anybody? So the Bhakti Yogi's favorite mystical power is preaching. That is the greatest activity. Gauravani pracharine nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya deshatarine. Prabhupada's mantra every time we're repeating it. Because this is the greatest thing that one can do in this lifetime. And even in the next lifetime. The power to alter someone else's life, to give the possibility to somebody else to get out of the deep and dark well of material existence. That is the greatest mystical power. Srila Prabhupada one time, he was in India and there was this jester, kind of yogi jester, who was also performing some mystical powers. So he came to Srila Prabhupada and he performed some feats and Prabhupada was laughing, they pull out the coin from your ear, things like this. Prabhupada was laughing. And then at one point, he said, Swamiji, what are your mystical powers? Can you show us something magical? And as Prabhupada was jolly and laughing, at one point he became very grave. He said, my mystical power is that see all these guys around, I can save them from death. And the yogi, he became very humble, took shelter of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. He understood the greatness of a Vaishnava. What can all these mystical powers do? Only a little bit of playtime. The playground of the conditioned souls. We all came here to play, to play gods. But it's just a child's play. They say that when you're small, you have toys. The boys play with toys and the ladies play with dolls. And when you grow up, the only thing that changes is that the toys become bigger. That's the only difference. It's just playing with material energy. So what is the speciality within this notion of preaching to the masses? The speciality is that the Vaishnava becomes an instrument in the hands of Krishna. And on the other side, Krishna is giving the free will to his Madhyama devotees. It is explained in Madhurya Kadambini, if I'm not mistaken, that Krishna is actually empowering his Madhyama devotees to choose to whom to give the mercy. So every time when Bhaktarayan goes out on the street, he can choose who will be saved and who will not. It's up to you. It's Krishna is giving you this power. This is how it works. So this is the glory of the Sankirtan movement that extinguishes the fire of conditional life. It's something really special that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And it's a great responsibility. Srila Prabhupada has this one of his very special qualities that he exhibited was that he had always this sense of urgency. He didn't waste every single time. He didn't waste any single time and he was pushing all of his followers to do more. Distributed 1,000 books, double it. Go to Japan, go to South Africa, do more. And he was embodying that. He wasn't just speaking and giving instructions. He himself, when he came to America, he underwent so many tribulations. For the first time, he saw snow. He saw freezing temperatures for the first time after 2 heart attacks. Nevertheless, he was continuing to endeavor, and he had this ocean of compassion within him. He wanted to build a house for an entire world, and he did. This sense of urgency. There is no time to waste. Every single moment is precious. Every single moment has to be employed in devotional service. And specifically, saving the fallen conditioned souls. Because this is the greatest. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. One who spreads my glories, one who is merciful to the other living entities. He's my favorite. So there is no time to waste because the world is on fire. It is very risky to just stay idle and waste time, to just be casual. It is very risky. They say that, we're afraid to take a risk. You never know, you can fall down, you can hurt yourself, What if it goes wrong? But it is also a risk to not take a risk. There is always a risk. So one not take the risk to dedicate ourselves completely to the Sankirtan movement. There is nothing to lose. There is no loss or diminution. So everyone who comes to understand the Krishna consciousness philosophy, he automatically accepts this heavy burden of the Sankirtan movement. And then there is no going back. Because once you know it, you know it. That's it. Once you started practicing, once you have tasted a little bit, there is no going back. You have committed already. Kadamba Maharaj was explaining how one time there was this devotee who was struggling, he was having issues and complications, and he was complaining to him, oh Maharaj, but this and that, and family life, and work, and sadhana, very difficult, It is difficult, to be strict with all these things, to push forward. And Maharaj, he didn't know what to say. It was a peculiar situation, very difficult situation. And the man was miserable. But then he thought for a moment and he told him, listen, you can choose from now on. You have already committed. You're a devotee of Krishna. So you have to choose. You want to be a happy devotee or you want to be a miserable devotee. There's no going back, Just take up the austerity and do the things properly. Otherwise, the other way is that you'll be slacking, you will be morose, and then material nature will purify you. Because you already know too much. They say that Krishna consciousness is like mafia. Once you know too much, you can't go back. That's it. It's over. So every single day for us is an opportunity to embody the teachings of the Goswamis, who are directly empowered by Mahaprabhu. to facilitate, to explain this science. They gave their lives 24 hours a day. They were living under a tree and they were writing and relishing the great science of bhakti. And spread the mercy of Gauranga and Nityananda. Haridas and Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu were instructed by Mahaprabhu himself to go out and to go to every household and ask everybody, please chant Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They were the embodiment of the mercy, of the endless mercy of Krishna. And they were indiscriminately giving the holy names to everybody. No reservation. Even to Jagai and Madai. You already know the story, right? You heard about it? Bhakti Phil? There were these dacoits, rogues. They were stealing, they were killing. They were killers of brahmanas. They were actually brahmanas themselves who became super degraded. And that's the symbol of the Kali Yuga, that the Brahminical caste is degraded. There is no longer Brahminical caste. So Jagai and Madai, they were the epitome of degradation at that time. And they were drunk, and they were just singing stupid songs and creating mischief and just going around and throwing rocks at people, stealing. And Nityananda and Haridas approached and they saw them from the distance. And Nityananda said, oh no, we have to go there and do something, these guys are suffering so much. People who do like this are actually those who suffer the most. People who make other people suffer. They're the ones that need it the most. And Haridas was initially reluctant. He was like, no, they're gonna kill us, you're crazy. You cannot go there. But Nityananda Prabhu said, no, we must. And then they went, finally, they went there. And they approached Jagai and Madai, they look at them and they ask them, please, you beautiful souls, chant the names of Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Jagai and Madai, they became so angry. They're like, who are you to tell me what I have to do? They immediately started chasing them. They run away. And then at one point, I won't go into details, but they ran away, and then another time they met them. And this time, there was no escape. And Jagai, or Madai, I don't remember, he took one clay pot and he broke it in Nityananda's head. And blood started coming out. And he was about to strike him again, but then the other guy stopped him. He said, no, wait, no, don't do that. And at the same time, Mahaprabhu came to know, because he is Paramatma himself. He lives in the hearts of every living entity. So he came to know about that. And he quickly went to the scene. And he saw how Nityananda Prabhu was on the floor begging them to chant, please chant, with blood dripping from his forehead, from the open wound. And when he saw that, he became super angry. And he evoked his Sudarshan chakra immediately. And Jagai and Madai, when they saw the Sudarshan chakra, they understood, okay, now that's it, we're finished. And they became super afraid. And Mahaprabhu was just about to kill them with one stroke. But then Nityananda Prabhu, he kind of put himself in between and he said, wait, no, don't kill them. Actually, Jagai, he's so merciful, he saved me. from his brother, please don't kill them. This is not your mission. You have come here to give the mercy to everybody. If you kill them, these most sinful miscreants, then what is the purpose of your incarnation? You're the most merciful avatar. And so Mahaprabhu, he stopped. He was able to, he was pacified by Nityananda Prabhu. And he said, yes, you're right. And then he went and he embraced Jagai and Madai. And then what happened is that all the sinful activities, they came out of their bodies and they entered the body of Nityananda Mahaprabhu, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sorry. And his body became pitch black for a second. And then it came back to normal, to the golden hue. And from that moment on, Jagai and Madai became pure saints, completely pure. And they started chanting and engaging in devotional service. So this is the essence of the advent of the golden avatar. He came here to save the whole world. And Nityananda Prabhu, he is even more merciful than himself. He is drowning the whole world in the mercy. He's drowning everybody. Nobody can escape it. So it is up to us to decide, do we want to participate and get all that mercy. And Mahaprabhu's mercy is practical. It means that we have to eagerly engage and do the things properly. We have to study the books. We have to wake up in the morning. We have to go out and we have to approach the people. And it's not just serving. It's not just mopping the floors. It's not just mechanically doing service. It's not a love by declaration. Oh, I love you, Krishna. That's it. I surrender. And that's it. No, we have to show that we are surrendered. We have to surrender every single moment. And Maya's gonna test us again and again. Every day. Every single moment. She will test our sincerity. And we have to continually choose Krishna by engaging in devotional service. And by thinking, by understanding that I'm not just working outside, but it's an introspective process. One has to think about his actions. One has to think before he speaks. It's very important to understand what's going on inside of us, because this is where the problem lies. There is no solution outside of us. The solution is inside. Krishna is waiting inside our heart. But we have to remove all those layers of misconceptions, all those layers of dirt that have been accumulated since time immemorial. So many births, so many desires that are lying there. Desire for adoration, desire for distinction, puja, pratishta. All these things, they have to go, and only one thing has to remain. The pure devotional service to Mahaprabhu. So we have to be introspective, and when we have to see how our heart reacts in many situations, in the interaction with the Vaishnavas, in the interaction with the people outside. Because if we really understand the mercy of Mahaprabhu, then we will love the people. We will love the devotees. This is the product of Bhakti Yoga. the learned sage doesn't make a distinction between the cow, the dog eater, the elephant, and so forth. He sees everybody equally on the transcendental platform, and he's ready to give to everybody. Mahaprabhu, we know he liberated even a dog, even the animals in the Jharkhand forest. This world is suffering out there, and is suffering from impersonalism. So it is our duty to go out and preach. They say that things were made to be used and people are made to be loved. But nowadays, it's the opposite. People are being used and things are being loved. And that is the meaning of impersonalism. Yeah. That is why people are going crazy, because it's pure madness. One cannot sustain his existence in this type of engagement. And we see it every day. All these homeless people who come, they try to come inside for a little while to warm themselves up. And you can see their minds are so disturbed. Mental health problems, mental issues. It's very prominent today. And it's all the product of this impersonalism. This is the finest product of modern society. Every day we see it outside. Homelessness, mental illness, totally crazy. So we have to take every opportunity in our daily life to be givers, to spread this mercy. Every interaction with the devotees and outside, to try to tell the people about Krishna, to try to elevate them from where they are, give them a little bit, you know. This is the movement of giving. We want to become generous, magnanimous, not misers, you know. Me and mine, me, my time. I'm busy. Have to go do some service. No, somebody is coming, asking something. Give some of your time, little bit. Give some association, little by giving. You know, this is the only currency that never gets extinguished. The more you give, the more you get. This is the essence. And yet these people outside, they're all waiting. They're waiting for the mercy. I remember in September one time, I went outside in few days I went out 2 or 3 times. And in these 2 or 3 times, I wasn't even dressing Vaishnava clothes. Somehow people approached me and they started speaking spiritual topics for me. I don't know, somehow it happened. And I distributed a few books like this without any intention. And this is the sign that these people are thirsty, hungry and thirsty for spirituality, because they're just suffering with this gross materialism. They have no alternative. Hollywood movies, junk from Amazon, all these fake celebrations, you know. It's so fake. Impersonalism. That's what it is. And yeah, we have accepted a great responsibility, a heavy burden, and there is no going back. Yes, we have to give. And this is what I wanted to share with you today. The mystical powers of the Vaishnavas, which are not attracted anymore to the glitter of the material world, because it's temporary. If there are any questions, comments, or even feedback. Maybe I said something wrong. Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I was just appreciating that you were telling the story of Jagai and Madai. And I was thinking that even after they were purified by Lord Chaitanya and they became pure saints, there's a place in Mayapur that you can go on the parikram of where once they became purified, they started, I think, distributing prashadam. And so they renounced like all of their riches and their wealth and stuff. And they took up a very humble abode and they were distributing. But even in that place during that time, because people were so like afflicted by the pain that they had already caused, people would come and still like harass them and stuff. But in their purity, they would just be like,
Accept it.
I'm so sorry. Yes, like we're the worst, but here we are. Can we serve you? And I can't remember exactly. I think they were distributing prashadam, but what was it? There's the bathing ghat, yeah. But there was some other service also that they were performing. I can't remember. I won't speculate. But anyways, I was just appreciating that you told that story, and I was just thinking that their purity also is that it's not that they became pure and then everything became good. They still had to suffer patiently all the stuff that they caused, and their purity was found within that.
Tatenu kampa susamikshama no. Bunjana evatma kripam vipakam. Kritvagva pubir vidadam namaste. Jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Anything else? Bhakti Ryan?
Hare Krishna. Thanks for the class. Nice class. A lot of really good points and important points. And especially appreciated, sharing this pastime of Jagai and Madai. It'd be interesting to hear sort of how it connects to the verse, the verse we had for Śrimad Bhāgavatam today. And also just an appreciation of the, this idea that I think Pavan was also talking about in his class, Bhagavatam class the other day, the final class he gave, that we're engaging these people, but also by engaging them, we are able to advance ourselves, what Sankirtan is. By getting help from others, we can actually get more advanced in our practice, because on our own it's going to be harder to overcome these difficulties of the illusory energy. But if we can engage others to help us, then it would be easier. So maybe two things you could share, sort of how this class connected to the topic of the verse, and also if you could say more about how we can also engage other devotees and people around us in order to improve our own practice.
What was the first thing?
How this connects to the verse, I don't fully understand.
How this connects to the verse?
Yeah. Like why you chose to spoke on the topic of Jagai and Madai in reference to this passage.
Oh yeah, because I was explaining how devotees are not interested in the mystical powers of yoga, which are byproducts of yoga. They're interested in preaching, and then the whole Sankirtan topic came about mystically.
Preaching is our mystic power. I see. So then maybe you could say something about how, maybe something you've learned about how to engage others around you and how to further your own spiritual, especially devotees, how to engage other devotees in order to increase your spiritual progress,
Yeah. Well, one important thing for us is to understand that charity begins at home. We have to really connect with each other as a team and embody this culture of selflessness and loving devotional service and support each other and treat each other very nicely. And in this way we will be able to expand this outside of our own circle, because this is what actually people are looking for. They're looking for culture, for a superior culture. Otherwise, they've seen all of these things, all of the bad stuff outside, all of the discord, all of the fakeness. So they're looking for something genuine. Philosophy they might not understand, but when they see how the Vaishnavas treat each other with respect, when they see how devotees are being appreciated and glorified, when they see the magnanimity and compassion, that's something very revolutionary, to be compassionate in this world. Keshav Maharaj explains it as hearing the unheard. When you see somebody who is in distress, who is doing nonsense, what is the story behind that? What is the remote cause? Because that's the effect of a remote cause. So trying to understand what is the root, and then being compassionate, because everybody is acting in certain way for a reason. So compassion is very powerful, and when we embody these teachings, Krishna explains, knowledge means qualities of character. Knowledge is not just book knowledge, is behavior. So this is something that will make a difference. This is something that will enable us to engage other people and connect with them in a deeper way. Because what happens is that we're used to the relationships of the material world, which are in the lower modes. Lower modes means transactional. But in devotional life, that's no longer there. Those are relationships of service. And there are many subtleties. How we interact with each other, how we say the things, rhetoric questions. What did you do there? So this will ultimately enable us to expand and reach out to so many people. People, they need friendship, They heard so many philosophies, they heard so many things, but they really need somebody who is there for them. Just like Bhakti Yuron. He is here just because of the friendship. He knows the philosophy. If he doesn't have that friendship, he'll just go. And if we just nourish him with nice quality time, appreciating him, you never know. He'll become. He's a very sharp guy, actually. He'll become the next Acharya. He might become one of the next leaders of ISKCON. Yeah, but who knows? Nobody knows Bhakti Vir. But actually, he has a very, very pure heart. If you look at him deeply, more kind of closely. So This is how we can engage the public more and more, by touching their hearts. It's an art, and we have to learn it. We have to imbibe it in our own circle first, and then expand. I don't know if this is enough for you. Okay? I'm speaking for myself also. I'm also learning. Okay? Nobody else has questions. So, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Bhagavat Prasad ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki